One of the greatest lessons you will ever learn in life is this: life is not happening to you, life is happening for you. Most people spend their entire lives fighting reality. They argue with what is. They resist what happened, they replay the past, they fear the future, and that resistance creates more pain than the event itself. Pain is inevitable, suffering is optional. That's one of the greatest lessons very few people truly understand. You don't suffer because something went wrong. You suffer because you keep telling yourself it shouldn't have happened. But life doesn't ask for permission. It teaches through experience, and the faster you learn the lesson, the less pain you repeat. Here's the truth most people avoid. Every challenge you face is shaping you into someone stronger or keeping you stuck as someone smaller. The difference is not the challenge, it's the meaning you attach to it. Two people can face the same loss, the same failure, the same rejection. One grows wiser, the other grows bitter. What separates them is interpretation. Life rewards those who extract lessons instead of excuses. And here's where it gets real. Most people don't fail because they lack ability. They fail because they refuse responsibility. They say, "This happened to me. They did this to me. The world is unfair." And the moment you place blame outside yourself, you give away your power. Responsibility is not blame. Responsibility is ownership. The moment you say, "This is my life, and I choose how I respond," you take control. That decision alone can change everything. One of the greatest lessons is learning that your emotions are not reactions. They are responses. You may not control what happens, but you absolutely control what it means and what you do next. And that choice is where freedom lies. Most people live as emotional prisoners. They wait to feel motivated. They wait to feel confident. They wait to feel ready. Winners move first. Feelings follow. Action creates clarity, not thinking. If you wait until fear disappears, you'll wait forever. Fear doesn't mean stop. Fear means grow, and growth is uncomfortable by nature. Comfort is the enemy of greatness. Let that sink in. Everything you want in life exists on the other side of discomfort, and yet most people design their lives to avoid it. They avoid difficult conversations. They avoid hard work. They avoid honest self-reflection, and then they wonder why nothing changes. Here's another lesson that can save you years of pain. Your standards shape your destiny. Not your goals, not your wishes, your standards. What you tolerate becomes your life. If you tolerate disrespect, you'll live with it. If you tolerate mediocrity, you'll drown in it. If you tolerate excuses, they will own you. But the moment you raise your standards, everything around you must rise to meet them or fall away. And that's not loss. That's alignment. One of the greatest lessons is learning that saying no is not selfish. It's self-respect. You don't owe everyone access to you. You don't owe everyone an explanation. You don't owe everyone your energy. Your energy is your life. Spend it intentionally, because time doesn't just pass. It compounds, and every day you delay becomes tomorrow's regret. Most people overestimate what they can do in a day and underestimate what they can do in a year. Consistency beats intensity. Small disciplines practiced daily build unstoppable momentum. And momentum is more powerful than motivation. Motivation comes and goes. Momentum carries you even on hard days. That's why routines matter. That's why habits decide your future more than inspiration ever will. Let me tell you something important. You are not behind, you are not broken, you are becoming. But becoming requires courage. Courage to be honest with yourself. Courage to change what's not working. Courage to let go of who you were to step into who you must become. And here's a lesson that hits deep. You don't get what you want in life. You get who you are. Your identity drives your behavior. Your behavior creates your results. Change the identity, and everything else follows. Stop asking, "How do I get more?" Start asking, "Who do I need to become?" Because success is not something you chase. It's something you attract by the person you grow into. One of the greatest lessons you will ever learn is that pain has a purpose. Most people run from pain, they numb it, they distract themselves from it. They pretend it isn't there, but pain is not punishment. Pain is guidance. It shows you where growth is required. If you listen to pain, it will teach you. If you ignore it, it will repeat. That's why the same patterns keep showing up in people's lives. Same relationships, same financial stress, same self-sabotage, different faces, same lesson. Life will keep sending the same test until you pass it. and passing the test does not mean avoiding the situation. It means becoming stronger than it. One of the greatest lessons is understanding that discipline is not restriction. Discipline is freedom. Most people think discipline limits their life. In reality, lack of discipline limits everything. When you don't control your habits control you. When you don't control your emotions control you. And emotional chaos is exhausting. But discipline creates order. Order creates clarity. Clarity creates peace. Peace is not the absence of problems. It's the presence of control. That's why the most peaceful people are often the most disciplined. They decide in advance how they will live. They don't negotiate with excuses. Another lesson that changes lives. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. Goals give direction. Systems give results. If your system is weak, your goals become fantasies. If your system is strong, your goals become inevitable. That's why consistency beats talent every time. Talent without discipline is wasted potential. Discipline without talent still wins, because discipline compounds. And compounding is how ordinary people achieve extraordinary lives. Now let's talk about something personal. One of the greatest lessons is realizing that no one is coming to save you, not your parents. Not your friends, not the government, not motivation videos. This is your life, and the moment you stop waiting for rescue is the moment your power returns. That's not loneliness, that's liberation. Because if no one is coming to save you, then you get to save yourself. And that's where real confidence is born. Confidence is not believing nothing bad will happen. Confidence is knowing you'll handle whatever does, and that confidence is built through action, small actions. Daily actions, not dramatic breakthroughs. Progress that looks boring but feels powerful. Another lesson most people learn too late. Your environment shapes you more than your intentions. If you surround yourself with negativity, your mindset will reflect it. If you live in constant distraction, your focus will collapse. If you stay in environments that reward mediocrity, you will eventually accept it. You don't need more willpower. You need better surroundings. Change what you see every day, and you change who you become. Now here's a hard truth. One of the greatest lessons is learning that not everyone will understand your growth. Some people prefer the old version of you because it makes them comfortable. Your growth threatens their excuses, and that's okay. You're not here to be understood by everyone. You're here to be honest with yourself. Growth requires separation, not arrogance, alignment. You're allowed to outgrow places, people, and patterns that no longer serve you. That's not betrayal, that's evolution. And finally, understand this. You are far more resilient than you think. You've survived things you once thought you couldn't, and you're still here. That alone proves your strength. So stop doubting yourself. Stop underestimating your capacity. Life is not asking you to be perfect. It's asking you to be present, to be brave, and to be responsible. One of the greatest lessons you will ever learn is that your life is shaped more by your decisions than by your circumstances. Circumstances come and go. People come and go. Opportunities rise and fall. But the decisions you make in key moments become turning points. Most people don't fail because life was unfair. They fail because they kept choosing comfort over courage. They chose short-term relief over long-term fulfillment. And every time you do that, you shrink just a little. But here's the empowering truth. At any moment, one decision can change the trajectory of your life. Not a perfect decision, not a guaranteed one, a committed one. Decisions shape identity. Identity shapes behavior. Behavior shapes destiny. That's the chain. And when people feel stuck, it's usually because they're trying to change behavior without changing identity. They say, I want better habits. I want more discipline. I want more confidence. But deep down, they still see themselves as the same person. You don't change your life by adding new actions. You change your life by deciding who you are. The moment you decide, I'm someone who doesn't quit, I'm someone who tells the truth, I'm someone who follows through, your brain starts looking for evidence to support that identity, and slowly your actions align. Another great lesson is this: you don't need to have your whole life figured out to move forward. Clarity comes from motion. Most people wait for certainty before they act, but certainty is created after action, not before. If you wait until you feel ready, you'll stay stuck in preparation forever. Growth begins the moment you move with incomplete information. That's how confidence is built, not by thinking, but by doing. Now listen closely. One of the greatest lessons is learning how to forgive yourself, not excuse yourself, not lower your standards. Forgive yourself for what you didn't know, for what you couldn't handle at the time, for surviving the only way you knew how. Self-hatred does not create change, self-respect does. You don't rise by punishing yourself, you rise by believing you're worth the effort, and when you respect yourself, your standards naturally rise. You stop chasing approval, you stop explaining yourself, you stop settling, you begin choosing what aligns instead of what's easy. That's maturity, that's power, and here's a lesson that separates leaders from followers. Life is not asking you to be fearless. It's asking you to be faithful to your values even when fear is present. Courage is not loud, courage is quiet. It's the decision to keep going when no one is watching, when no one is clapping, when no one understands. That's where character is built, and character outlasts motivation. One of the greatest lessons is understanding that happiness is not a destination, it's a direction. It's found in progress, in contribution. In growth, the human spirit needs movement. When you're growing, you feel alive. When you're stagnant, you suffer. So don't ask, how do I be happy? Ask, how do I grow? Growth brings fulfillment automatically. And finally, let me leave you with this. Your life will not be remembered for how safe you played it. It will be remembered for how honestly you lived it. The courage to try, the courage to fail, the courage to stand up again. One day you'll look back on your life, and the moments that mattered most won't be the easy ones. They'll be the moments you chose yourself, the moment you stopped running, the moment you took responsibility, the moment you decided to become more. That is one of the greatest lessons of all. You are not here by accident, you are not powerless, and it is never too late to begin again. The lesson is simple but not easy. Live deliberately, choose consciously, and never underestimate what one decision can do, because that decision could change everything.